GM, good people. Fun weekend for the Badge Brigade. More winners than I could remember with this peanut-sized brain of mine. So I'm looking down at my phone to make sure I include everyone, and I probably still forgot people. But big shouts to our guy Joka, been a day one Discord guy. Punched his ticket to Miami. Unfortunately, couldn't join us today for Winner's Circle, so we have another special guest joining us today. But J-Bags, longtime guy, always hanging out in the chat, won the single entry for $2. Love to see it. Best Ball Noah, who actually has done and cut shorts together for us for free for a long time. Big shouts to him for doing that. But then also went ahead and shipped the afternoon only there. And then Hockey Hooligan turning $10 into 5K in the 3rd and 10. And lest we not forget, he may have turned to the inside, but he can still win his own contests now and then. Neumy2 took one down. The employees only. So therefore solidifying how soft the inside contests truly are. But we got recurring guest with us. We're going to skip the formalities. He's just been dominating everything recently. We're just going to go ahead and jump him right into where he belongs, his rightful spot. Crutches, what's good, man?
What's up, guys? You gotta move the camera around here. Good to be back.
Ooh,
Should we just add your avatar to this at this point, or what should we do here?
Oh man, if I don't have any meetings on Mondays, we can make it a recurring segment, I guess.
I think Nez is gonna have something to say about that in Miami, but at this point, it might just have to be a recurring segment.
I got something to say about it, man. We're no longer buddies, man. It's official. Like you're now the bad guy. You're now Mr. 2 times 2 entries. So you're officially the enemy. Come to Miami. I don't even know that we can be cordial whenever we see each other.
We're not going to talk any week 14 slate here and talk about who our locks are.
Yeah. No. I'm cold shoulder when I see you, man. No handshakes, no nothing.
All business here on out. I love that. Crutches, you did something that I'm quite envious of. I'm a little bit of disdain in my heart right now because I come on here every week and I try and tell people the best plays. Then I draft the best plays. And then those best plays never win shit. And you come on here, waltz on here for the Friends and Family Wednesday show. You tell everyone the best play. Then you draft the best play. And then you punch a ticket to Miami with the best play. Tell us, man. Tell us.
Honestly, I didn't realize this until Pete's recap stream this morning, but it was a Josh Allen 1.1 team, which is like even better. Because later in the week after I was like 50% Allen, I was like, well, I'm gonna mix in like some Diggs in the case that like Diggs gets there with like a 31 pointer and like Allen has 35 and like Stroud has 30 situation, right, where Diggs separates more than Allen. That was like my one worry. So I don't, outside of a couple auto drafts where like the tab doesn't, it's like waiting and it doesn't update to like your pick. I think that was the only time I took AJ Brown, and even later in the week I switched it to where it was like Allen 1, Diggs 2, just so in case I autoed it wouldn't be AJ Brown. But yeah, like I said, I just think there was more ways for the Eagles to get there, like both on the ground and through the air. It's Josh Allen in a literal pass funnel, like the Titans of last year, like first against the run, 31st against the pass. Honestly, Dave scared me because he starts texting me on like Saturday, like, dude, weather's gonna be really bad, and I'm like, dude, like, shut the hell up, like, I can't. Josh Allen, big hands, it doesn't matter. So yeah, it gets there, but yeah, it was nice. Like I said, the first one was obviously cool, but first one was like a little lucky, obviously, like 15 entries and like 1 Stroud share, and I get there on that 1 share. This was like nicer because it's like tout Josh Allen, tout Kincaid and Gabe Davis, but Kincaid was kind of hard to get for the most part, so it's kind of nice that people took him and you avoided the landmine, like Pete said. And then Shakir was probably a smart play too. I'm just, like I said, I'm betting on Gabe Davis against bad pass defenses. Like if he plays the Jets or something, like I'm never taking him, right? It's like a Diggs week, but him against a bad defense, yeah, it was good. It was fun. And then also like hitting
Was it fun though? Was it actually fun? Because
So-
that time must have been gross.
Yeah, so I was telling Dave this. We were in our like Telegram chat, and honestly, I was just chilling. Like the first time, I was like, sick to my stomach, sweating with Stroud and all that, fading everything. With this one, I literally like in the chat, I was like, I'm not checking scoreboard. Like I wasn't like I was slightly nervous, but I wasn't like sweating. I was like, I know I need a Gabe Davis touchdown to jump Copper at least. Joker has me boxed out, but like I can easily jump to second with 10 points, like even if it's like a short touchdown. So I literally had like didn't have Underdog pulled up. I was just watching the game, like, all right, like there's nothing to get excited about unless Davis scores, And so it was funny because one of our buddies, shout out Jeremy, is a crypto guy. He shipped 150K in like the 4444 or whatever the big milli is on Redacted. And he was like sweating a Gabe Davis touchdown too. He had like a similar team. And so, I'm just like, he's like, one time, and I'm like, all right, I'm feeling like a little corner route or a seam, like a seam or a corner, that's where he's going to hit him. And then he just runs a seam, like easy touchdown. And I'm like, and that was when I was like, all right, I'll check the score, make sure I actually jumped into the top 3. And even then I was chilling. But yeah, it's when the Eagles got the ball back. I'm like, okay, time to start pacing around, Mac looking at me weird. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, that's when it got a little gross. I'm just like, hopefully there's a Hurts turnover or something. I think there was the incomplete pass that looked like a fumble for a second. And it was like,
yep.
Please just let it stand up. The AJ Brown catch was almost a fumble. I thought that was really close. I figured it'd be incomplete. And then I'm just like, and my buddy started texting me. They're, I'm streaming it, so they're ahead of me. I'm probably like a 10-second delay or something. And I'm just like, please don't text me like what happens in the field goal.
DND, anytime I'm sweating, man. DND phone is away from me. I don't want to hear a buzz. I don't even want to like see a preview. Nothing. I need the clean, like pure sweat. I need it in real time, authentic.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, hitting a 60-yard field goal in pouring rain. Like I know Jake Elliott's a stud and like he's clutch and he hit a 61-yarder his first game in the NFL to win. Like he's an absolute stud. And I'm like, not in the rain though. He can't make it, and then he just drills it like on this like perfect. It's like playing your shank or playing your slice on the golf course. He's just like, I'm gonna just play the slice right through the middle.
I called my power fade.
Yeah. It was crazy though because he made that. I thought Dave was dead. Like I thought he was locked out because of his James Conner pick, and then he gets in the top 3 in overtime because of like a Gabe Davis, that 20-yard catch he had or whatever. So he was in. And then literally then the second part was like the super unlucky, like how often does, Allen miss Davis on that wide open touchdown to walk off? Like that's such a bad run, bad spot. That's the point where I was like, on the final Eagles drive, I was feeling pretty good. I kind of forgot about, I didn't think Hurts was up there. I didn't think he had that many points, but I knew I was fading 6 from AJ Brown and then 11 from Devonta Smith. So I was like, one of them can get there, but not both, which is most likely like Devonta would need like a 50-yard touchdown to get me, right? And then AJ Brown would also need a bunch of points. So I felt pretty good. I did forget about like Hurts teams. And so in the end, like, Dave was sweating it more than me even. And I was kind of like, I think a Swift touchdown's fine. And I think a Hurts like rushing touchdown's fine. And then he thought the same too. I mean, it's hard to scroll that far down and check every team, but he runs it in, and Dave, we both thought we were good for a second, and this guy just barely got Dave. So
yeah, just the extra yardage, like with that touchdown, I was looking at a 6-point gap from Dave and seeing who was the next host with 6 points, and no one had Hurts. I was like, oh, nice, man. Like, I think you just punched number 2. And then he's like, nope, no. And I was, oh yeah, forgot to add like the extra points there. So man, that poor dude, man, just ran so. I mean, thank God he got one. Yeah, I know that he's not the only one to run bad in this qualifier, but man, oh man, that was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like, I mean, I told him like, obviously it sucks. I can't like talk you off the ledge here, but
yeah,
like it sucks either way, even if you have a seat or not. But honestly, I feel really bad for Jewish McCaffrey too. I mean, the guy was like so close multiple times, and then he gets the Olave team this week that gets knocked out with a concussion. Like, who knows? And it was a non-Kyren team, so he was like the one guy without Kyren.
I know.
And then Kyren just gets there to destroy him. So I feel really bad for Jewish. Dude had some sick teams up there. So that's like an even worse run bad than Dave. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Pour one out for Jewish McCaffrey. So close so many times, as you alluded to there. Crash Rich up here. Yeah, copper prices again, man. Just a classic. Like, who's who of whatever. You had 2 more entries. Not surprising when you went so heavy on the Buffalo stuff. Just Liam finding his way up here. Where does he get his ideas? Dare we guess this a little Allen team? Yeah, who would have thought?
No Kincaid. What a fraud.
So good. Yeah, let's take a look at it real quick here. It was obviously the Allen, Gabe Davis there. The Tyler Higbee one, I imagine you drafted this one prior to the news of Cup. I don't know. Was that, or was this like a pure leverage? You do the Kyren plus Higbee thing.
So sorry, can you repeat that? I got distracted.
No, you're good. I was just wondering, like, was this drafted before the Cooper Cup news? That's why you were on the Higbee stuff? Or was this a pure leverage draft where you were just like, okay, I'm going to punt tight end and then at least get a little bit of leverage off the Puka and Cup being drafted every time?
Yeah, I was taking punt tight end when basically if I missed on second round, I was taking a lot of, if I could get Trey McBride or Kincaid, especially with Allen, then I would try to get him. I actually kind of liked like the Trey McBride plus Allen because it was a little different than like all the people just taking Kincaid or trying to get Kincaid with Josh Allen. So I definitely prioritize elite QB and elite tight end. I was kind of like lukewarm on the guys after that, like Schultz, Evan Ingram, and Njoku. I tried to get him, but a lot of times people would reach, and I'm like, okay, I'm cool with Cade Otton. Like I love Cade Otton's matchup. He almost got there too. He had a few like nice plays that were pretty close to the end zone and stuff. Basically once everyone went, I was clicking Pat Freiermuth a little bit, and I was clicking Higbee. I think especially earlier in the week when I wasn't sure about Cup playing, and then also like Puka was also a Q tag, so it was like if they both miss, like he could this is like a week where you could just get their own volume. One of the guys failed. I actually did like Michael Mayer, like despite like ETR projections and stuff. I really liked him as like a Pacheco bring back in that game, and his routes were trending up. He's getting 70% of snaps every week now with like Hooper down to 30 or sub 30. So I think that was a good play for like an undrafted guy with leverage. And then those are kind of the guys I was clicking late. I could really never, so guys, I see I have McCollum getting drafted. I already tagged Neumy. But anyway, I saw news he was upgraded, so we could talk about it later. But
oh, for real?
Yeah, he's getting drafted with an out tag, so I'm not sure why I should let me do that.
Whoa!
I use those out guys as my tier break, so they better have a Q tag. So we'll see. But
what the fuck?
That's a big.
He's
one.
upgraded. He's upgraded to Q. Shit.
I was really off the Pels stuff today. I thought it was bad. I thought there was just way too much usage to go around. I was pushing up that middle tier over him. I was taking Maxey over the Pels guys. Anyways, wow, that's a very interesting slate changer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Back to football. Everyone was like tagging me in Discord and stuff that I fired off like 25 auto drafts before I hopped on. So
good alpha.
Yeah, but I think Higbee, like I said, Higbee, Mayer, and Pat Freiermuth are like the three I was clicking late. So I honestly really liked the combination, especially with like tight end doesn't matter thesis. I kind of like the combination of like two players, a running back and a tight end on the same team. Because like if the offense just gets there, it's a more unique pairing. And I think like running back wide receiver is a little tougher, but I'm fine with like I had a decent amount of Rashad White, Mike Evans teams like together without Baker. I'd sometimes try to get Baker, but a lot of times I'm just fine getting both of those guys. Hope it's a shootout game, but like Allen is more optimal than Baker or whatever, right? So I think that's a pretty sharp way to play some of these. Is just to kind of bet on those onslaughts in a way. So
cool. Yeah, no, I like that. I haven't been doing it as much with running back tight end, as you alluded to. Running back wide receivers kind of like the meta, I guess. But that's interesting. Cool. Let's pull up Joka's real quick here. I got some notes on it that he sent me. Wasn't able to make the show, but I just saw something in the chat from him that he was working on the downstairs sink and saw where he was at, told his brother, and then his phone died. So this is a pure hashtag team never sweat right now. The man is doing physical labor on the sink. Real blue collar lad. I love to see this. Didn't see it, then didn't look until the field goal attempt, with 30 seconds left. That's so dope. I love that.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Let me tell you, it's agonizing.
Just draft the nuts and then fix your sink. Why not?
little high tea lifestyle help get you over the hump there. I mean, that's two people not two people in a row, but Joka and Platson, man, two guys just being handyman, just taking care of the house and also putting food on the table with a little dog bowl qualifier. That's awesome.
Yeah, their wives love them way more than ours love us. I just wanted to put some context to Jokas because he sent me some notes on it. He had 10 entries this week. He's been doing 10 every single week based on the promo. He thought there was an edge this week in drafting early because everybody was focused on the turkey slate. And I think he's 100% right about that because as you can see with my stuff, I didn't even get to my 10. My old man's in a band. They were playing on Saturday night. So I was like, oh, I got plenty of time after band night's over Sunday morning. I'll get my last 7 in to at least get to 10. I got 3 dog bowls in this week because the sickos filled it all on Saturday while, before the night was even over. So I do think he's 100% right that with everybody's eyeballs on the rake-free turkey stuff, there was an early week edge there. He was in lockstep with you, Crutches, where he had 40%. Josh Allen was really prioritizing the premium quarterback this week with the Cliff. And then he had Henry as his highest owned player, followed by Kyren. So if you're just going to slap the two best, two of the highest scoring running back plays like that, you love to see that. So he had Allen at pick 4, Henry at 21, Kyren at 28, which was a bit of a reach comparative to the ADP at the time because he still had the Q tag. Then got the Gabe stack, and then Kirk was his last wide receiver, and then the Pike tight end with Higbee there. Pretty cool.
Sick team. Yeah, really, really sick team there. The Kyren stuff, man. Yeah, I'm definitely. I've no regrets on going as hard as I did for the Thanksgiving stuff. It was a lot of fun and made money, but such a huge edge. Like Crutches was on it from the jump, and obviously so was Joka by the sounds of it. Just getting in there while everybody's piling into the Thanksgiving stuff and taking advantage of the inefficient ADP was a really, really smart move. Because I was reaching on Kyren. I was taking him like 2-3 turn, 1-2 turn in dog bowls, 2-3 turn in the main slate like all week. I just I was kind of fudding the FUD, fading the FUD around him. With the comments about the volume that he was going to get. To me, he just clearly a pretty good running back, and this just seemed like a mismatch. So yeah, that was a big time move there to get him when you could early.
Maybe one move we didn't read far enough into, like we talked a little bit about it on Friday's show, and you put your money where your mouth is on Friday's show when we were doing the dog bowl draft, and you took Kyren at like 12 or something, right? 13. You pushed him up to that edge there. Maybe one thing we didn't put enough stock in was the releasing of Darrell Henderson. Like they did that early, like they did that really early in the week before his status had even changed on the site and stuff like that. And when a team makes a roster move like that, holy smokes, like that tells you a lot, right?
Yeah. That definitely is probably something that should have been that flew under my radar. I just knew Kyren active against the Cardinals. Okay,
right.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Obviously, wasn't expecting 35 half-point PPR points, but holy shit, what a game.
Yeah, I think to be honest, like he did like Kyren's sun run like super well. Sun ran, I guess. Like JJ pointed out in his recap thread, and I'm checking snap counts from PFF right now. Like he had 41 snaps to Royce's 23. So to be honest, I still think the Darrell Henderson release was more of because you even saw it in that last game that Royce overtook Darrell as the lead back in that game before Kyren came back. So I think it was less. Yeah, it was definitely we know they trust Kyren and they're going to feed him, but they also talked about hey, we don't want him necessarily having 80% of the work because he's not going to hold up. So I do think we're going to see that 66-33 split going forward. But yeah, Kyren is just sun running efficiency right now, which I'm not sure is allowed for a guy with a 4.7 speed. You just take all fantasy points away because of that. So.
Yeah, I mean, he might just be legit good here. The other thing is Sure, he sun run like a little bit, but
Sand
the
ran.
other sand ran. Yeah, I almost turned it into like a past tense of sun run, sun ran, sand ran. Yeah, no. But the other thing is they had 2 opportunities at the goal line earlier in the game in which he didn't get in, and then it was him who had 2 good touches on the third to last drive or something like that to get them into the red zone. And then it was Royce who scored when they brought him in for that change of pace just for 1 snap. And then Royce brossed off 22 yards. So in theory, he could have also still been in there for that sequence, right? So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, expected fantasy points probably will line up pretty evenly with how well he played IRL. I don't know. Pretty cool. Crutches, any final parting words? We'll let you Rock get back into the NBA streets and that sort of thing, and we will talk through the next couple slates. Tons of congratulations in the chat here. Everybody reaching out. Love to see it. Any parting words on... Actually, you know what? Before you get the parting words, I want to ask you one question. Do you think your strategy pushing into Miami, we'll talk about this a lot going forward here, but do you think your strategy will change now that you have 2 seats?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's tough to say because going in with 1 seat, like you can only do one thing. It's, depending on where you end up in the draft slot, and like you could have guys you love, but you can only take them once. So, I'm not gonna like give away exactly what I'll plan to do, and I have to take a look at the slate first. And I'm sure, as me and Dave have been saying, the goal line stands.
You haven't started forecasting the week 14 slate. Oh, buddy, you're way behind.
Wow.
Let me tell you, you got some catching up to do. I already plotted out a draft board, son.
I've got some dirt plants I like already. If other positions get like snatched away, but it's honestly it's going to be interesting because it's a pretty deep slate, I think. And so there's I mean, absolute chalk spot is going to be Buffalo KC. But like there's just other interesting spots that I think will go overlooked as well. And so it really depends on like where ADP comes in and like what I like. But I really don't have a problem with necessarily having like 1 to 2 overlapping guys on my teams, but I probably don't see myself going like very aggro with like 4 or 5 similar ones because it's such a flat payout structure. That I think that I think that it makes more sense to diversify most of the team with that payout structure. I could probably draft 6 different players on each team and sun run first and second with 2 different. It's such a small tournament that I was already thinking about it. Like you could probably win with like 2 duds on your team, like a tight end dud and like 1 running back duds, and then if you get like smash on like a Josh Allen stack again, then you're still live to win it all. So it's gonna be a lot more. Not floor-based drafting, but it's going to be interesting. Yeah, the one thing I'm kind of hoping for, I'm not even going to ask for like, I hope I get 1-1 or 1-2 in one of the drafts, and like, CMC will be there and Justin Jefferson will be back. Probably those are the top 2. But I think it's more of like, I just don't want to end up with 2 of the same draft slots. Like, don't give me like 1-9, 1-10 or something like that, like twice. Like, let me get like early draft late or something like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think my overarching mindset is in lockstep with yours based on the payout structure. I think probably the best case study for this, and it's something we're going to talk through a bunch, little programming note, we're going to be down there and whatnot, and we are going to be running shows from there. We're going to run off and on the clock from Miami on Friday night from the content house. So that's just like, while we're talking about it, we'll just say that. That there's going to be that. And then I think we're going to have some form of preview show on the Saturday. And then on the Saturday, while the drafts are and stuff like that, we'll be talking through them in real time as well. So that's kind of like ballpark what we think we're going to be doing right now. So there's going to be plenty of time to talk through this stuff and kind of pick each other's brains on strategy. But I just wanted to get your initial reaction to it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because everyone's already saying that, like, I was talking to Jewish and Dave, and like they're both like, the goal line stands just going to be all red badges that week, practicing like the 12-man contest. So
damn straight.
Everybody's just going to be saving each other's draft boards, like seeing what they're doing probably. So
absolutely. Yeah. I think there's going to be some really cool meta in, kind of porting over the goal line stands to seeing what people are doing heading into Friday. I don't know. Maybe Nez and I'll talk through a little smoke and mirrors here where Nez will just, he'll just punt How many goal line stands do you think you could comfortably punt? Like 30 of them, just to throw some smoke in the other direction?
I don't got it like that, man. I've already shipped my 2 goal line stands last year. I got all the practice I need.
I love it. All right, Crutches. Good luck tonight in the hoop streets. I think you won a hoop slate too this week, didn't you?
Yeah, I shipped that on Saturday night before.
Get the fuck out of here. We're over it. All right, bye, Crutches.
Good luck tonight, dude.
No, man, that's awesome, dude. Oh, he actually left so fast.
That's funny as hell.
Oh man, the guy is absolutely on one, sharp as hell. Love
dude, so sharp. I'm so mad because I crushed the dad that slate that he won. Like, I was so on it. 50% Hawkins, 50% Daniels, like Keontae George. But I had also like a shit ton of Reggie Jackson. This is just a very quick thing. Shit ton of Reggie Jackson. He goes, game log, 30, dunking after dark slate, 6, and then back to 30 points. Like, what the fuck was that, man? Are you shitting me? What the fuck?
No difference in usage, no injuries, no nothing.
No, I don't know. I don't think there was an injury. I'm pretty sure there wasn't. Oh my god, man, I was tilting like crazy. Like day after, like I was tilting like this morning. Still thinking about it, but anyways, it's gonna be so much fun, man.
Crutch is still reminding us that yes, we're on a pick'em heater because he nailed like 3 of them on the Wednesday show as well. Yes, Crutches, you get your due, man. You're absolutely killing it, dude. We love you. Yes, James asking in the chat here. There are 3 players with 2 seats in Miami. There's EDN3, there is Crutches, and there is Copper.
Yep.
And that's it. Nobody has 3 seats. So 3 guys with 2, and then but it's gonna be very interesting, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun to see like the meta. What I was gonna say there, Nez, is I think the best case study for it is the Thunderdome. If you went back and you looked and you did kind of like, I don't know how you could directly apply redacted site to the Underdog stuff, but I think it's the best case study for it. 30-ish person field week over week. It's a sharp field. Ownership condenses in different ways, like, around the same plays over and over again. I think it would be kind of like a best use case. I don't know. It's different because like chalk guys can come up 60 to 70% owned. I
think you're absolutely right. Like the way that's why ETR and I think other sites too, but I know ETR specifically has now ownership projection sets for different, like for, not just GPP blank, it's GPP small field and large field. And maybe it was doing it last year, but I didn't notice. But like it just seems like way more of a talking point this year. And I think when you can't use these dog bowls as the example of how people are going to attack, kind of like you said, it's Thunderdome. These are like Millie Maker. These are like we're trying to finish top 3 out of like 5,000 people. Right. This is like Millie Maker shit. And now you get to, like you said, like the Thunderdome, where if you were to play this slate as though you were one of 36 people competing for 200K, people would be drafting, like, in my opinion, like way differently. Like, I think we would probably see like Najee Harris, and maybe not because the people that are qualifying just have a propensity to hate Najee Harris. But I think like Najee would probably be somebody that gets drafted more because he's more projectable than like. If you win 200K with Najee Harris after an OC change, I might quit the show. Should I quit the show? I'm gonna buy out your seat, dude. You're out of here. Najee time schedule programming. GA. This was kind of like the thought process with it, right? Is like, the Thunderdome is tweaked cash lineups. It's whatever. We don't have to go into the meta. There's going to be tons of stuff to talk through there. But there's going to be like reasons to be more densely correlated in this, or densely correlated around game environment, or to bake in the need for median and or floor projection more so than on our standard slate. Because we've never had a contest. Maybe that's not true. We have had 48-person contests on Underdog before that were like $100 or $50 back in the day when baseball first launched the big fly. And I think those were the only contests that have been this small a field. Yeah. And I'll just tell you from, having
pat on the back to John Boy. Won that a couple nights in a row, a couple times back in the day when I was actually still good at this stuff. But dense correlation was the key to success that was under played. Right. And I don't know, maybe that's the right answer to the 36. Who knows? We're going to have lots of time to talk through it. Hopefully get, Pete's thoughts on it, your thoughts on it, although I know you don't want to expose too much, and then Hayden and Josh's thoughts on it all leading up. There's going to be tons of content. It's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It's going to be tough for me to not talk about what I want to do because I have, just like, we talk about these slates multiple times a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm confident in myself. And like, it's kind of fun to be like, here's what the fuck I'm doing, guys. And then go out and do it and then win. But I don't know.
I mean, Crutches did it. Crutches did it this week. Like, why not you, right?
Why exactly. Yeah. He literally did it.
Yeah. All right, let's look at I don't have many leaderboards because as I alluded to, you guys are sick and filled everything so fast. Yeah. So I just banged out 50 of these Sunday morning because it was the only thing to draft. I had a pretty good sweat in the mini royale. I had two lineups inside the top 10 until that last game went to overtime. And then obviously a Hurts skinny ended up being my highest scoring lineup after it was all said and done. But I was pretty proud of my exposures this week. We can give a shout out to DMAC8. Do you have the winner of the OG Battle Royale? I know everything was slightly smaller this week, but who won the 10K in the original BR?
Yeah, it was Ripple Tigger, and with 149.16. So I think just like a 0.1 difference from that mini Royale winner. Ripple had Josh Allen, Kyren Williams, Bijan Robinson, Diggs stacked with Allen, Mike Evans, and David Njoku. So interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, that Njoku was the tight end of that lineup, who just apparently is just DTR's just only
target. Yeah. Yeah. First and only read over and over again. It's actually interesting that though the highest scoring game environment, that's the one that popped off in slightly different ways than ADP alluded. You didn't need AJ Brown, you didn't need Stephon Diggs, you kind of needed Gabe Davis or just naked Allen. A lot of these were just naked Allen teams. Yep. And that sort of thing. And then, most of them had Travis Kelce because he was the highest scoring of the chalk upper echelon, and you could still get him paired with Josh Allen because all the other big scoring plays other than Jonathan Taylor came later. So very interesting week where a whole bunch of, either skinny stack Allen or naked Josh Allen was the guy you needed, but nobody scrolled the F at tight end far enough to get the Tyler Higbee one, which I don't know. It became a leverage play. It was a good play, then a bad play, then a leverage play as the course of the week went onward there. But I mean, nobody sniffed optimal again in some of the bigger style contests. So just, kind of an evergreen sentence there, right?
Yeah, kind of cool. And shout out Love Stars, who was in second in the main, lost by 0.1, man. That is brutal. And his team was nasty too. So he had the Josh Allen, Kyren Williams, Mike Evans, Gabe Davis again, with Calvin Ridley and Kelce as the 2v2 there against Diggs and Njoku, but it was the Bijan Robinson was the difference there. But a nice day regardless, though.
Nice to see the Bijan stuff finally. I almost did this, Nez. I almost joked on the backside of your tweet when you threw out a Jaylen Warren hype piece, as you're prone to do prior to lock on Sunday morning there, and I almost asked you Bijan or Jaylen Warren rest of the season.
I would have earnestly told you Jaylen Warren.
So good, man. I was worried about the Bijan stuff. I had a lot of. I mean, we could just look at my exposures. Here, I played a lot of McBride. I played a lot of Jonathan Taylor. Olave was my highest owned wide receiver. I aped on the Cup stuff and the Kyren stuff. Unfortunately, paired them together a decent amount and sunk some lineups there. But the Bijan stuff, man, I didn't play a ton of it, and it was primarily, you can see down here, 10%. It was primarily run back off of the Chris Olave stuff because I really liked Olave this week. But yeah,
that was a good
anyways.
call too. I want to show like my exposures real quick,
please,
just because I mean, dude, it's brutal. This is just brutal here because of how like my top 4. Sorry, let me go into the presentation mode, share screen.
60% Kyren. That's a stance. Love to see it.
That's crazy. All right, we're adding to stage. There we go. A little bit of manifesting there on the top right if you like Easter eggs.
What did you? Oh, yeah. you already put the winnings in there.
I already deposited that money in just because I know that I'm getting it back. But these, I mean, dude, nailing Josh Allen, Pacheco, Nico, Kyren. I mean, Kincaid was definitely a bummer. Diggs, like, just, I mean, these top 4 are pretty nice, man. And I mean, I broke even. You know, like you see something like this, and you would kind of expect to profit.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. It's the classic adage of combos, right? It's the classic, like we used to preach it from whatever, anytime anyone would listen. Combinatorial ownership, the value of combos, the value of having multiple combos, even if you have the right pieces. Because we would walk through our exposure last year all the time. We've been doing more winner circle this year because more people have actually taken us up on it. But last year we used to spend a good portion of the program just doing this on Mondays. And it was like, holy shit, man, I had 50% Devontae Adams and he had a 30 burger and I lost money this week. This doesn't make sense. Yet it makes perfect sense. It's just you got to go one layer deeper with it all. But yeah, no doubt. Clearly played well, clearly in the right direction there. Love the Allen and Pacheco stuff. That was very sharp. And then you were on the Kyren stuff as you needed to be. So well played this week, my friend. Just
no
unfortunate
regrets.
it didn't get home.
No regrets.
None. Yeah. All right. What do you think? Should we start? What's more timely? Hoops starts before football?
Yeah, I mean, so is there? I haven't even checked this primetime slate, to be honest. I'm not sure.
What it's a fun one, dude.
Is it three team? Oh yeah.
Let me plead to the good people that are the fantasy football gods. Can we the primetime palooza is nearing more full than the hoops. So let's start there.
That's fair.
Can we, for once in our entire lives, have an island slate without Tony redacted? Please, one time, please.
Nope.
We no matter what, Tony redacted finds himself on every single primetime slate, and we have to make the decision every time, Nez. But very fun one. I think this is low-key fun Monday night game.
For sure.
It is 2 good run defenses. I took some time, did a little research here. In terms of DVOA, Bears are really bad against the pass. Vikings are decent. They're 10th against the pass. They're 7th against the run. So Vikings defense slowly coming around in the last, couple of weeks, based on we thought they were going to be, Lions light of last year at the start of the season has not been the case. They've actually been legit a decent, well-rounded football team who's making do without their quarterback and their best offensive weapon. Pretty impressive, to be honest. But Bears, really bad versus the pass, but decent against the run. 11th against the run. Vikings are 7th against the run. Running backs are going to be tough to sell me on this one, given the fact that this slate has some much better running backs in other game environments that are better plays, better usage plays, and in better spots. But there are some Q tags, and there is some reason for optimism, I guess, with the Bears stuff, removing Deontay Foreman from that backfield right now, and then being like, okay, well, now it's a little more condensed, and we saw Herbert take the lead last week, so maybe there's a little something there. But all in all, pretty talented 3-game slate, especially with top-heavy tight end. Yeah.
No, you gave it a really good summary there. There's definitely some tough matchups as far as DVP and what we think as far as these teams versus ground and pass. But I think for me the top 2 picks this week are Kelsey and Pollard.
Oh no.
With Lamb coming in at 3rd, I think Pollard is a clear-cut top 2 pick this week.
Wow. Okay.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you agree or disagree with that.
I think the drop off from Lamb to the following wide receiver is starker than Pollard is to the remaining running backs. Like I think like taking a flyer on like, some 1-1-3-1s with like Ty Chandler in the last round, or taking some 1-1-3-1s with AJ Dillon, hoping that Aaron Jones doesn't go again, stuff like that. I think I like that build type in my mind slightly better, and that's why I would take CeeDee Lamb over Pollard. Versus Kelsey, I could see either which way going there, but yeah.
So I'm trying to do like my play is like getting Tony Pollard like early. I like a lot of these quarterbacks, so I'm kind of cool with whoever I end up with, and then, man, I might go back to this Green Bay well. I mean, I know the Chiefs defense is damn good, but like Jordan Love doesn't give a shit. Like the way he plays,
he doesn't
care who he's facing. He just wants to hit home runs, man. And we're starting to see, him actually connect on some of these home run attempts. I just, for me, this is definitely a little bit more into like the pride thing where like I hear a lot of people talk down on Jordan Love and say Jordan Love isn't good.
Mm-hmm.
I just disagree. I just think Jordan Love is good, and now I want to win with Jordan Love because of this. But yeah, no, I do think though, like to your point about CeeDee Lamb, though, definitely a huge gap, talent, projection, whatever you want to use. Definitely a pretty big gap, and definitely a bigger gap between 1 and 2 for him versus 1 and 2 Pollard versus Pacheco, because Pacheco, I think is a fantastic play this week too, and I will be overweight him as much as possible, depending on how many entries I get.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't know the status of McKinnon. We saw CEH get a goal line touch last week, but Pacheco's role looks really, really solid this week, and especially in a game in which we've attacked Green Bay via the ground multiple weeks now. Right. Yep. So it makes a lot of sense there. I wanted to bring some attention here using the Fantasy Life projections here. It's very interesting because Justin Fields, when we're talking about the quarterback position, so obviously, guys, this is week 12, but then layered in, we have one game left in week 12, and then there's no projection for the next 2 games. So I like these slates where you're doing a little bit of bro science mixed with having the projections to one game. But I just wanted to bring it to people's attention that on Fantasy Life, Joshua Dobbs actually has a higher projection than Justin Fields. And in terms of ETR, it's 20.4 for Justin Fields. It's 20 here. Let me not butcher it. I will actually put it. It is 20.4 for Justin Fields. It's 20.2 for Joshua Dobbs.
I mean, you can't even be mad at that.
No, I'm just bringing it to the attention relative to how ADPs are falling.
I guess I'm just talking to myself here, because I'm the Justin Fields truther of this earth,
right?
No, I mean you can't even be mad at that because Dobbs is balling, well coached, with the ability to run and the not even the ability, but just like the willingness to run is definitely like what is helping that projection. This is an awesome QB slate. I mean, I'm not running to the podium for any of these QBs except maybe Dak, but
right.
Otherwise, I think this is like a lot of fun, and you're not really left like shit. Like I don't know who to take here because you got a lot of good options at any point on the board.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. The one that you brought up with the Love thing, it's interesting because like Kansas City's defense, we were giving a lot of credit. It was like, yeah, this team might be just like really good and really, really well rounded. And then you just saw AOC come up and chalk them apart for the first 2 drives last week, or this week rather, yesterday. So it's kind of like, well, we just saw Jordan Love throw for 4 touchdowns against the Lions. They're projected to be trailing in this spot. They're going to be home dogs, probably. I don't know. What do you think? 5.5, 6, something like that.
Which game are we talking about?
We're talking about Green Bay and Kansas City.
Green Bay and Kansas City. I guessed 7-point dogs, and I think they're 6.5.
Okay, yeah. Either way, it's going to be trailing script. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I got a little glimmer of hope in my eye for the Green Bay stuff as low-owned leverage, as you alluded to there, because of the fact that I saw AOC do a little damage through the air. I mean, he didn't win anybody anything, but I'm just saying, Jordan Love, clearly a better quarterback coming off a
Right.
really nice game. I got a little hope for that game to be low key shootout as long as weather holds, basically.
Yeah, that's, I think with Green Bay, that's the one place where weather can, I think, have a bit of an effect. And yeah, I think as long as like Jordan Love can answer some of the Kansas City offense, if the Kansas City offense can also do their part, because I have my questions about them as well, but I think they will have no problem against Green Bay. And just want to give a response to, we have a viewer in the chat, Shane Newman, who's wondering why this isn't the Week 13 slate. Shane, on Wednesday, we like to do a slate preview of the following week, and then we have a show on and off the clock on Friday where we talk about the main slate as well. So just an FYI.
First time viewer.
Yeah, just thank you for the support, but.
Another one while you're on the chat here. DM, shout out to the guys. Took down the Mini Royale 2 yesterday. Always love the shows. Love it, DM. Yo, big shouts there, man. Congrats.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Boost on the ground from J Bags.
Yep. What do we got?
Currently looks like rain snow mix.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was anticipating without even looking. When you look at Green Bay home game, end of November, start of December, right?
Yeah. That's it's still probably not fade worthy. I don't think I think like the rule of thumb is always going to be wind or bust, but
any notes here, Nez, on the running backs? I got a couple if you don't.
Well, I mean, for me, I have like ranks, but I think, I don't have any like notes. I just have takes in that, Pollard, Pacheco for sure.
Yeah.
And then Khalil Herbert, I think, is going to get like all that he can handle. Roshan is just like very much a rookie. I mean, we love what he looks like and where he came from in his college production, but like Herbert, I think, is the better running back right now, and I think they very much know that. And with no Foreman, I think Herbert is probably going to be underdrafted, underrated, probably not going where he should in these contests based on his projection and based on the fact that he's Khalil Herbert and hasn't had much to showcase yet this season.
Okay. Yeah.
That's right.
No, I like that. Yeah. The evergreen. The evergreen one is always like how much rushing production is going to be available with Justin Fields, right? Like, because he's always going to be rushing option 1A, I guess, in that backfield. Some of my notes were just like the way in which Ty Chandler seemed to, Alexander Madison had the Q tag. Ty Chandler's low-key just looked better recently.
Ty Chandler looks like he's shot out of the cannon when he touches the rock. Like he's running with a purpose.
Yeah. We haven't had them on the main slate in a while, so we haven't like talked about this team a lot. Even though they're missing Justin Jefferson and whatever, that wide receiver tree is so condensed. And then this usage with the backfield is, it's not flipping. Actually, I had it open here. I'll find it in a second here with the utilization report here. It's definitely not like flipping. There was a little portion of one of the games in which Madison was like hurt and questionable to return in that game. So I think it will look a little stronger than it was intended. Like this one in week 10, the 44% and the 64 here. And then you saw the uptick to 44 and then it come back down to earth with the 13 here. I just think Ty Chandler like looks slightly more effective right now. So he's just someone that I want to have mixed in my player pool for sure. Maybe not ranked above, but just one there. You mentioned the Roshan one, the Sharps one, man. The Sharps usage was there. Like the Sharps usage was really nice. If we get no Ken Walker again, I mean, I'm going to be having some builds with Sharps as like kind of like the focal point of the build, treating it as if Ken Walker is out and let somebody else catch that one. I don't have a strong lean in or out on the Aaron Jones or Ken Walker stuff, but I will have builds where they're like, load up at the other positions, some maybe even double tight end, bully tight end, and then, just one running back, and it'll be one of those two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely prefer Charbs and Dylan to their Q tag teammates, but it depends on where, in a draft, like if I need one more running back and I have all four of them, I may go for the Q tag and then like take a swap if they're all available. But that's like very, very nuanced. But otherwise, like I think like you kind of nailed it. With Ty Chandler, like I don't think anybody's going to be projecting him to get more touches than Madison, of course, but he does look like he just has like, that big playability. And you never know. Maybe there's a scenario where Madison is on the field for like multiple or like a series. They get to the end zone or the red zone, and then hey, he needs a blow, and then Chandler happens to vulture one. I just think that that's something that's impossibility, and I wouldn't be ruling out Chandler in my drafts.
Like it. The Sharps role, like, yeah, maybe he didn't get home on the Thanksgiving slate in a big way against a very, very tough defense in the Niners there. But if you just look at the Sharps role in 11 and 12 without Ken Walker, I mean, 85% of snaps, 87% of snaps, 78% of rushing attempts. Like, this is elite. And then 71% of routes on top of it, getting targeted 15% of the time. Like, this role is no effing joke with Sharps if it ends up being him. Like, he honestly on this slate for me, if Ken Walker was missing, he would probably be the second RB behind Pollard.
If who was missing?
If Ken Walker was missing.
If you confirmed him missing, you would put Charbs over Pacheco.
Yeah. I would take Charbs' role over Pacheco.
I mean, usage, yeah, just straight up attempts and pass attempts, probably. Yeah. But, man, Pacheco's like... I don't know, man. I think that I don't think I would agree with that, but I do think that, yeah, if Ken Walker's out, then like Charbs is immediately like a priority target in drafts. No question. Mm-hmm. No question.
Yeah. And I think because we're not going to have that information, you should create rosters with that as a mindset. Like hey, I got to build as if this is like, we talk about it in hoops all the time where it's like, hey, before the news drops, build a Jordan Clarkson lineup in the 6th round today. Build a lineup where you're anticipating that Nikola Jokic Q tag on a back-to-back and anticipating Aaron Gordon's going to be out where you push some other guys up at the back end of drafts. Like, you got to build through these things to get leverage before like the news actually happens and then everybody's on the same playing field, right?
Yeah, you do got to take some risks if you want to, if you're trying to swing for the fences, which like you kind of should be. Yeah, these contests are flat, relatively speaking, to other GPPs, but we should be swinging for the fences, and that's a really good way to do so.
Yeah. For me, Nez, the wide receiver position is like CeeDee Lamb in a class of his own. Although I will say this is one of my little nuggets for you. I got 2 little nuggets for you. Who leads the Dallas Cowboys in receiving yards over the last 3 games?
Is it one of my highest exposed wide receivers in best ball this season, Brandon Cooks?
It sure is, my friend. Let's sure go. Is. They have really found a wide receiver 2 role for him. We talked about it for the Thanksgiving slate, how Gallup is going in the wrong direction comparatively. That is their set now. And then there's a rotation between Turpin, Tolbert, and Gallup. But Brandon Cooks is leading that team despite all these gaudy box scores from CeeDee Lamb over the last 3 weeks. Granted, arbitrary sample size, blah, blah, blah. But it was just something that I found very interesting there. But for me tonight, Nez, we alluded to Vikings pass defense being like low-key good right now, and the other side of the ball being very bad. And we know how condensed the passing tree is for Minnesota. For me, I've been kind of ranking it CD, Addison, DJ Moore like this, with those kind of second tier being interchangeable there. And then I think you can do whatever the F you want outside of the fact that I think Brandon Cooks is ranked too low.
Agreed with the Brandon Cooks stuff. Seattle looked abysmal against the Niners, and it's hard to like take away things whenever teams play the Niners because the Niners tend to make teams look really shitty. But we nobody's been thinking that Seattle is this awesome team really like all season, really, like Geno has not been playing well at all. I mean, the offense is just like pretty uninspiring. This is an interesting matchup against the Cowboys, and I think the Cowboys are more likely than not going to steamroll. I mean, I think it's a better matchup than the Niners for, their offense versus defense, but man, oh man, the Seahawks, dude, it's just depressing because they've got some like good names there, like
Right,
on
yeah.
paper, you see these names, it should be exciting. But
I think Gino might just low key be mid as hell, and he just over exceeded so hard last year with the efficiency on the pass rate over expectation, and now everything's kind of come back to earth here.
I don't know what I haven't grinded the film. I don't know how teams are playing him. If they are playing him differently, I would guess that they kind of are, and that might be having an effect on him. But these guys are going to project like better than DJ Moore and Jordan Addison. If you were to look at projections, their projections would probably be like behind Lamb and right behind Lamb.
You think so? Yeah.
These guys always project well because I mean, like they get 9 targets. Lockett is a nice A dot. It's just, but I'm not going to be excited to take them. Like I will let somebody else take them and grab. Make sure like I get a tight end or look at running back. Like I will likely be doing something else rather than taking Metcalf and Lockett where they go in drafts.
Good shout. Longer time off to comparative to like Kansas City or something, for instance. So teams with like some ailing injuries or some Q tags, like we know Lockett's been banged up basically all year. We know DK's been banged up all year. Now they kind of get like a little bit of an extended break. So to your point, they might also be healthier in comparison now, regardless, like independent of the spot, the projection, the whatever.
Sure.
Tight end, you alluded to liking Kelsey of the 101 variety. Pretty strong tight end slate.
It is
just in general for a 3-gamer. I think it's going to be really condensed to these top 3. Maybe there's a little bully tight end thrown in there to throw some people off. Not much of the scroll the F down variety. Our boy Tucker Kraft got home, not in terms of the yardage to push our pick'ems over the top, but he got home as in scoring in the end zone. We saw Noah Fant make a couple nice catches over the middle of the field. Noah Gray's ADP continues to make 0 sense to me. It's a pure leverage play to go down here, but I think for the most part, you're just going to want to have one tight end, and it's going to be one of these 4.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of 2 tight end teams.
You think so? Yep.
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily be thinking that like you can punt tight end until the 6th and think that you're going to get one of these 4. These guys are going to get drafted a lot. Like, and I think Ferguson, I mean, all these guys, I would take. So we talked about the Seattle receivers, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm taking TJ Hawkinson over both of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. For sure.
Cole Kmet and Jake Ferguson, they're not far behind either, And if I'm if I'm building up a stack with like Dak and or Justin Fields, like I might take Kmet if I already have Kelsey and Hawkinson over Lockett and Metcalf. If I'm trying to build out a stack too, So I like these tight ends a lot, man. These are some of my favorite tight ends in the league, like period for fantasy.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think you do bring up a good point with double tight end being way more viable on this slate, and definitely that the field's going to get there. So you should be prioritizing at least a little bit so you don't get froze out. I wouldn't be doing my noble service though, Nez, if I didn't bring up the fact that my boy Tucker Kraft, 88% of routes, Mr. Good Boy himself. Yeah, Mr. Good Boy himself. Right here. Caught the touchdown, but out there for 88% of routes. So doing exactly what we want. Musgrave on IR. A little bit of leverage there again if we go with some late Jordan Love double stacks with like Kraft plus Watson plus Love or Reed plus whatever.
He's a nice emergency tight end for sure.
Yeah.
Getting his cardio in, which good for him.
Hey, whoa. All right, let's jump in one here so we could do some hoops. I know we got a kind of like a 1:30 time capsule today.
Yeah.
Let's jump in the primetime palooza.
Let's get it, man. Gotta get a workout in, gotta go make dinner, gotta finish these drafts.
Those aren't hard outs. That's just
they are hard outs. I'm on my wife's time, man. I'm on Bria time. We got things to do. Tick 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 tick. Man, this I'm excited to talk about this hoop slate after this draft because it's a pretty fun one, and I mean evergreen 6 round wide open, but 6 round maybe even like, I mean, you could even expand that to like 4.5. Starting
Yeah,
at,
I think it's 4.5.
yeah, starting after like the 20th pick, it's wide the hell open.
Yeah,
We'll get into it. But
I tend to agree with you. I think you could tell yourself a really nice story for like a lot of guys. Like there's no reason you shouldn't put like Jaden Ivey and like Herb Jones on the same team, or there's no reason you can't push up Walker Kessler to the 4th round and, do something funky in that regard. Because I think once Jordan Clarkson and Jordan Poole are gone, I think you can kind of just do whatever the F you want.
yeah, it's tough because I'm like kind of wish casting a little bit. I feel like on some guys, but we'll get into that. I'll talk about my exposures and stuff. Let me get a little refresh in too. Now that my 1 hour has passed and I can look at my new exposures.
I was just looking at some of the news right now. We knew Justin Jefferson was out already, but he's officially out. For this slate, I mean yeah, there you go. That's all. All right, cool. I was looking at the football news for this as well.
Gotcha.
I think we can go ahead and ignore. I think we'd be so on brand to trust you and take Tony Redacted for not only the bid equity, Nez, but for the sheer fact that you rank him 3rd on this slate, which I strongly oppose, but I will allow it.
Who would you go with?
Twist my arm.
We're taking Tony, but who would you pick here if it wasn't Tony? I wonder.
Hawkinson.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. I would take Hawkinson, or I would try and do a mini stack with like DJ Moore and Jordan Addison.
You think Hawkinson just based on like raw projection, or you just don't trust Kmet and Ferg?
Both.
Interesting. Okay.
Both categories. We could do something a little bully running back here and take Isaiah Pacheco, who we kind of both agree, but I do like the quote unquote value at running back more than wide receiver late. So Jordan Addison feels good to me.
Pacheco.
But
I think Pacheco. When you factor in the line mismatch that's gonna be there, the weather, the spread, everything kind of points to another Pacheco 1, maybe 2 scores. Game? Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Now we can do some funky stuff with like just theoretically speaking, we could do some funky stuff in terms of like
in theory.
We could go to like the Jordan Love stuff and do kind of like a double Jordan Love on the bring back off of Pacheco, get some low owned leverage there and some talent. Yeah. What do you like?
I don't want to give it. I mean, we still got, who's that? Coben in here? Coben can't, I don't want to give away the good. Coben better go Mahomes.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't make me have to think. But I'm eyeing up sort of a stack.
Okay.
I've got a teammate.
All right. For the record here, outside of the projection outliers that they sometimes
Jaden Reed.
Outside of the projection outliers that sometimes get tossed here, I think the only like quote unquote GM is CeeDee Lamb plus Travis Kelce that'll be thrown out. That's kind of all I would say.
Yeah. Good point to make.
Do we want to take Mahomes?
I was gonna say Dak, but Mahomes we can still get Rashee Rice.
Let's do the Mahomes double here and see what it turns into, because I don't want to give this guy 4th round Mahomes Kelce. Let's do Mahomes. Let's pivot to Mahomes Pacheco here, and we could do it with Rashee Rice. We could do it with.
I love Rashee Rice.
He's fun to watch, eh? Like the 40-yard slant or whatever, 35.5-yard slant was so fun.
He's what we thought Kadarius Toney would be, basically.
Yeah, even though
Tony doesn't even run slants, Tony just runs bubble screens. So that was probably a little rich, but okay. That dude went Dak and Cooks. I like that move.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm Rashee Rice over those Seattle receivers.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm good with it. I mean, one of them's going to come. Maybe not one of them's going to come back to us, but
I mean, they're going to run back if not. Like, this slate's pretty sick, man. I think we need a Neumy if you're here, if you're listening, if this thing fills, man, just like run it back with another 30K because this slate kind of fucks.
Yeah, it is a really good one. This one is what I led with it. There goes one of our beautiful run backs there. That's kind of a fun way to do it. Like he was setting up the Jordan Love from the jump there. That's kind of what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
He stole our stream equity sweet draft. I guess we just go KC Onslaught with, we could do Kraft as the bring back here. But there's going to be some better projecting tight end that falls into our lap here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I would go tight. I would go Ferg. I wouldn't, because why wouldn't that dude try to double stack, with Dak? I think that's kind of what he's setting up personally. So we'll I mean, yeah. Okay, cool. Now that we kind of have that pick.
Any scroll the F downs, tweak your imagination here.
It's hard for me to really get too creative from here for us. I think Mooney can. I think I'd still like Darnell Mooney. I don't think anything's changed as far as I think his ability to have a really big play and and catch 2 bombs. So I guess maybe Mooney would be my candidate for scrolling the F down.
Okay.
I do like Ferg here.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, the usage is still there. The receptions and yardage hasn't been there in the last 3 weeks, even though they've been scoring 1 million points. But yeah, a little, we take a page out of Crutches' book here and stack our running back with our tight end. Don't get froze out. We're going to have to do something funky here to make this one a little different, though, because if we just take Tyler Lockett here as a mini run back off of this other stuff, it looks kind of like everybody else's lineups, does it not?
I don't know.
No?
I think if all these guys hit the nuts, I mean, I think you're sitting pretty damn pretty.
Yeah, I think everybody else thinks that way too, though.
Maybe I guess for me, I'm just so less in all forms of DFS. I care so much less about ownership.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially this.
Okay, so Lockett goes. We could make a JSN bull case. I kind of like KJ Osborne as just that offense is so condensed. 3 wide receivers. This is how condensed the Vikings are. 3 wide receivers play 95% of the snaps.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'd prefer probably Dubs, but I mean, Osborne.
Okay. All right, we'll do a little bring back. We're betting on that game environment pretty heavy here. Dobbs has scored a touchdown in 3 straight games. He probably should be the 3rd drafted wide receiver, but he projects the 2nd best Green Bay one because actually Christian Watson's number is behind him.
Right. But now that Christian Watson finally had his good game, people don't care.
Mm-hmm. But look at the scrollability of this slate. Joshua Dobbs, who we alluded to, is projecting higher on one resource in fantasy life and is projecting within 0.2 points of Justin Fields going undrafted in this room. Aaron Jones going undrafted when you have a free swap to AJ Dillon, some Ty Chandler leverage readily available, some Roshan leverage readily available. Maybe they just go, hey, you know what? We're going nowhere with this team and Foreman's injured. Let's go ahead and start giving him some touches. The Chiefs wide receiver who caught a touchdown this week and is caught a touchdown in back-to-back weeks and had 13 targets the week before, or 11 targets, 13 targets, one of the two, 11 targets the week before going undrafted. There's just leverage plays for days out here. The Tolbert one, we said he was kind of working over some of these other guys. This is a scroll and not sacrifice much and find some low owned value down here kind of slate. It's very fun slate.
I think based on this draft, the one thing that I would do if I was to offer somebody a point of leverage would be, on your Kelsey and or Hawkinson teams, build out your Seattle stacks. Cause I think out of Geno and Dobbs, Geno's going to go undrafted way more than Dobbs. So if you want to if there's the off chance that, hey, Geno actually connects with some of his receivers, I think you'll get a lot of leverage there, especially in stacks. So that would be my offering to the crowd.
Very nice. Yeah, well said. When hoops, now hoops, my friend. I will go to the rankings tab right here. I think there is, unlike other weeks and slates, or days and slates, rather, there are some pivotal decisions at the top of the draft board today, and that is not always the case in hoops. Are you team Jokic, who has the Q tag on a back-to-back, or team Joel Embiid versus Anthony Davis this evening?
Unfortunately, I'm Embiid right now, because I see Jokic fall a good bit, and you can see his ADP is 1.5 now. So the reason I'm doing Embiid over Jokic is that I think personally, like, the ADPs reflect what you just have. So I'm just playing what I think ADPs are right now, and I much prefer to play the ADP game with the top three, as opposed to like making stands. So that is my stance, is putting Embiid over Jokic, because I think that's how they're going now. As far as, do I think Jokic plays? I think he plays. And the weird thing about it is, like, they are kind of big dogs. They're 5.5 point dogs against the Clippers, but they're at LA traveling, and they just played a game yesterday. So I think that's why they're dogs. And they're also, like, not that great of a team right now with how banged up they are. If Jokic,
no Aaron Gordon, no Jamal Murray.
Yep. And if Jokic was truly out, man, they are like 10-point dogs, so you can't really see the 5.5 and be like, oh, they're projecting Jokic out. Like, really doesn't, like Jokic is worth way more than just like 5 points on a neutral floor. So
yeah,
I don't think Vegas has to lean here, but I think it is weird that he played 34 minutes when they beat the shit out of the Spurs. Spurs take all their starters, and they leave Jokic in for an extra like 5 minutes.
He played 42 minutes when they were losing by 20 or something.
I didn't get that. That was weird to me. But Jokic wants MVP.
Oh, sorry. We're talking about different things. I was talking about the Rockets game the night before, where he played 42 minutes. They left him in, and they were losing that game in the in-season tournament one. Sorry, Nez.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's still 34 minutes when they were crushing the Spurs. They're just like weird. So you can maybe use that as an argument to say, oh, well, they knew he was resting today, so they let him get some run in. I can't full fade Jokic. Like, I'll put him at 2. That's as far as I'll go. And then if I lose, I lose. But I can't fade Nikola Jokic, man. He's like one of the best players I've ever seen play basketball.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's interesting because they've done this a lot on the back-to-backs, where they do the probable tag the night before and then they pivot to the Q. I think Aaron Gordon being ruled out early kind of solidifies more that Joker will play in my mind, but I'm definitely in lockstep with you with the Embiid over right here. I think maybe like Reggie Jackson in the 6th, this nice little bit of leverage that nobody's drafting right now, or pushing up Michael Porter Jr. into like the 15-16 range instead of the 19 range and getting over the field there feels like good spots, regardless of whether Joke plays or not. Next big decision point here is the LeBron Q tag. But before we even get to that, Hallie's been playing out of his effing mind right now. He gets a really good spot against Portland. This team is just so pace up, and he is just so effing good right now. But it's really hard to take him over Anthony Davis, in my opinion. I don't know where you fall on this side of the fence. I've seen good players do both today. Which do you prefer?
Yeah, I'm playing the ADP game and taking Halliburton over AD. I think Halliburton is one of like the more at-risk players for blowouts. I mean, the Pacers play so goddamn fast that, like, if he's not on the court, like, they could have huge runs without him that increase the gap, that make it less likely for him to play big fourth quarter minutes. And the Blazers suck. They are so bad. But Halliburton, man, I'm still like not like worried about taking him third, but that blowout potential I think is extremely real against the Blazers, who are god awful, and the Pacers, man, who just it's so funny to like watch them play. If you haven't seen them play, check out a YouTube video by Ben Taylor, I believe is his name, just kind of highlighting like how absurd the Pacers like pace of play is. They run fast breaks on dead balls.
Literally. Yeah, it's crazy, man. As you're alluding to, they are the biggest favorite on the slate at 12-point favorites. So there you are with your blowout risk. I will say, to the blowout risk potential, is the Blazers had a really weird situation. They played a back-to-back, then they had one day off, and now they're playing a back-to-back again, which is like crazy scheduling and like super. Maybe they had 2 days off in the middle. Either way, they're going back-to-back, break, back-to-back again. And Brogdon played like 34 minutes last night. We know his injury history. We know him as whatever. I was really concerned early in the day that we were going to get the midday cues all over the place with this Blazers team, making someone like Scoot or making someone like Shaedon Sharp in the 5th and 6th round be like close to optimal. It doesn't appear like it's going that way. The fact that they don't have Q tags right now makes me more bullish on this game environment just in general. You know what I mean? Because now they're going to have their quality players on the other side to, even though they're still 12-point favorites, at least push the environment enough so.
Yeah, I think you're on it there. I would, it would be a kick in the nuts if we got an even later day Q tag on Brogdon.
Right.
Where is he at for me? I think I'm missing out on like I have a pretty aggressive stance. 18% Brogdon, which is like, at field essentially, because 16% is average, 1 out of 6. Yeah, I really like Brogdon today. I mean, this is an awesome spot. I mean, anybody against the Pacers, is immediately gets a boost, and Brogdon is one of the best players right now. I mean, the Products play it so well. So I'm not fading him, even though it is weird. It's very weird. Just injured past, back to back, high pace. It's scary.
Yeah. LeBron James, Q tag next.
Who's playing?
This is fake. Yes.
Always
LeBron
fake.
James is playing basketball today. I would be utterly astounded if he did not play basketball today because they have no one else on their roster to play basketball. Cam Reddish has a legit Q tag, like got hurt in the middle of a game last game or 2 games ago, something like that. Rui out, 0% chance could come in. He has a fracture. Gabe Davis out for sure. Jared Vanderbilt out for sure. Like this rotation is so dense that there's no way in my mind we don't get 35 minutes from LeBron or 34 minutes from LeBron tonight.
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay, cool. Glad we're in lockstep there. This is where things get really fun here. I have no idea what to do with the Clippers ever, period. I don't think it's not a high total game with Denver. It's the slowest game of the bunch. I've been passing on Paul George, and I've actually been pushing up Maxey and Zion over the Ingram and George stuff here. And then I've been getting into what my favorite game on the slate is, this Detroit and Washington game. And I've been really pushing up Cade and
so on brand for this to be your favorite game.
Oh, buddy. Like this is going to be no defense played, jacking up shots, playing
no shots made either. These teams suck.
Yeah, tons of boards for Duren because nobody's hit a shot. Yeah, actually, this was my second fun nugget for the day, Nez. I'm stealing your nugs bit here. If I asked you how many games combined losing streak right now these two teams are on, what would your number be?
What is it, like 22?
Oh my God, you fucking nailed it. It's 22. It is 22 on the nose.
Well,
it is a 12 game.
13 straight, right? Or
say again?
How many of the Pistons lose? Like 13 straight or something?
I think it's 13-9.
Oh, fuck me, man.
Yeah,
that's absurd.
Yeah. It's abysmal basketball, and now they get to play each other. This has a lot of fantasy goodness in it for me. I'm not sure that Cade's my favorite play on it. I actually might prefer Kuz if we had the Jordan Poole news. Jordan Poole was a very tilting Saturday, right? Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah. This is an evergreen reminder for anyone who plays hoops. Basketball games do not start at the time in which they say they start. Like a baseball game will be 4:05 or whatever it is, 7:05 or 7:07. That game starts, that game locks. Football, the same thing, 1:25 start, then the kick goes, 1:25 start, blah, 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 right? Basketball games are like, maybe we'll tip at this time. Like literally this is how it is, right? And it'll say that the game starts at like 4:05 or 4:08 or whatever. And that game sometimes starts 4 minutes earlier, 4 minutes later, blah, blah, blah. It's just a good reminder that weird shit happens in hoops. Apparently he tweaked something in the pregame warmups, in layup lines, in whatever. And then, yeah.
What I can't believe is that like nobody in the stadium, like no reporters, nobody said, oh, it looks like Jordan Poole like did something like in warmups. Nobody said a fucking word, which is just like crazy. But thank God we play on this wonderful platform where you do get bailed out. Like you play on redacted. That's an L. That's an L, buddy.
He's locked in your lineup. Yeah, he's locked in your lineup.
You're fucked. On here, you got to wait for the next tip, but you are saved. I don't mean to like rush, but I think we should probably talk about picks 20 and on, because I mean, from this point on, like I'm not fading anybody in this range. And honestly, I think, not to like cop out, but I think that like you can pretty much take these guys at ADP or like pick your favorites, but these guys are all getting drafted to like Michael Porter to Jalen Duren, who Duren is flying up boards and is like, I have him right behind Michael Porter, or I did all day. I need to put Duren above Michael Porter Jr. now.
Okay. Yeah, or else you're not going to get any. They started a really weird lineup the other night, and he wasn't part of it. And he was supposed to be on a minutes restriction, and he still played 28 in his first game back. And this is a very good pace-up environment and a very good matchup, evergreen matchup, like we said last year with play centers versus Charlotte, play centers versus Gafford. It's just like an evergreen statement. Play them against Daniel Gafford, attack the centers on the opposing matchup of that. Okay, this next range. Yes, I agree with you, Nez. I had been pushing up Clarkson. I'd been pushing up Poole. I had been pushing Thompson a little bit, but not as much as the field. And then Walker Kessler. I think Walker Kessler is both in a good spot and going to start. They did some weird rotation stuff there, but I think he starts and he's back to his like 25, 20 whatever minutes. He got hurt in the very first game of the season. Then he tried to play through it and he was having a really bad start to the year. And now he's actually healthy and playing again. So those were some of my stands that I was pushing up kind of over this tier. Valanciunas for me is only when Zion's out kind of guy. And when we have everybody back in, I just never take Joe Val. That's just,
yeah, man. Joe Val's tough because like the big guys do have the ability to like exceed their median easier than like some of these guards, because like he can get blocks, he can run hot on boards, and it's harder for like guards to kind of do that. And Utah is like an interesting matchup just because they're not like great defensively, but Kessler is back, like you mentioned. I do think Joe Val is like a little rich at ADP. And right now I'm only at 11% Joe Val. So I'm with you on that stance. I think Clarkson obviously is like underpriced at 29 with no marking in there. That's like a lot of usage freed up for Clarkson to just like sling it. And we have a lot of, or not a lot, but you open his box score and there's no good games. So thankfully it's going to put a little bit of like cold water on the steam, but he's a great click, and I have him like right behind Michael Porter Jr. In my ranks as well. My highest exposed player though is Asar Thompson.
Okay, yeah. So you're pushing up that mid tier of Detroit there. I think I wasn't pushing him up as high because I liked Jaden Ivey in the last round so much, and I didn't want to end up with 3 Detroit guys on so many lineups because I was really liking Cade and Duren early too.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think on a 3-game slate, you can have 3 teammates. It just feels like, why would you like, it feels bad to have 3 of like a bottom 3 team on one lineup, but I think it can be done.
It's also 5-game, not 3-game, but yeah.
Oh, sorry. That's what I meant. 5-game.
Yeah.
My second highest exposed player is Shaedon Sharpe.
Yeah, I like that.
It's scary, man. I don't like having a ton of like these late guys, but man, I'm getting him in the 6th like every time. And with the pace that he's getting and the way that he plays, I just think that he like I'm looking for like 30 points from my 6th round. That's kind of what I tell myself. Anything at over 30 is kind of gravy. Looking for 30 from my 6th round picks.
Yeah, no, I like the Sharpe call. We alluded to it a couple shows ago that he was like leading the NBA in minutes at some point, and I liked it earlier in the day more than like later because I thought there was still a chance that we could get a downgrade Q tag on the back-to-back Blazers stuff, and I didn't think it would be him just because like I thought it was going to be Brogdon, or I thought it was going to be Grant, like one of like the older guys, whatever. So I thought there was like a little bit of leverage there too. You guys noticed that I didn't hit Harris here in this middle range. Like if Tobias Harris was 35 points in the 20s beats me, fuck, I'm dead anyways. I don't know, just not my thing.
I have some Tobias Harris because he follows a lot. Like that's the thing. Like everybody, like thankfully, like these ADPs, like yeah, they're there, but like when you actually go and draft and don't just like auto, nobody like really respects this range. Like you will get Tobias Harris in the 5th sometimes. You will get Austin Reeves in the 5th sometimes. D'Angelo Russell is a common 6th round pick for me. You know, I don't love it, but like, hey, if he's there in the 6th, I'm getting unique. So it is just like it's kind of it's tough.
At least with the Lakers guys, I think like they don't love the defense from them, and they'll bring Max Christie into the ball game to play defense like more and stuff like that. But if that's a close, tight, competitive game environment, like it's projected to be comparative to like some of the other ones kind of thing. Yeah. Like Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell both have to play like 30 plus minutes or like 30 minutes because their rotation is so thin right now. So at least you're getting like volume there, right? And like if it's Austin Reeves night and he shoots it out, or it's a D'Angelo Russell night when he starts filling it up, like there you go. I'll ask you about the back end range here. You said the Sharp one. I'm seeing some smart people go to the Melton one. I am not the Sharp one. I was the one.
I like Ivy.
I like Ivy and John Collins. I think John Collins is now mispriced with Lauri Markkanen being out. I have nobody healed, which kind of scares me because other people were on him.
I'm good on that, man. It is nice to see Buddy Hield like kind of wake up from his slumber, because there was a while where he was only putting up like single digit fantasy points in like long stretches, which I thought was just like strange. If there is any game where Buddy Hield can pop the fuck off, it does seem like it can be Portland, but he needs to have like 30 real life points, and then that gets you like 37 fantasy points.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you know,
right.
It feels tough for him to have what you need.
Yeah, that's the exact same thesis with Jordan Hawkins. Like I've never got Jordan Hawkins right in my whole life. if he shoots it out, he shoots it out, right? Like
it is rookie
season. Like his rookie season. But remember that day where I just like aped the F in on him?
Well, that was the swap, right? I went Larry Nance. Yeah. So like you were way better than me, my boy. For me, it's Dyson Daniels. Daniels gets the minutes more than Hawkins and has the ability to. I mean, he just had a big stock game. You know, I think Dyson Daniels hits a higher median than Hawkins does in these contests, and I'd go Daniels over Hawkins.
Yeah, I tend to agree there. I mean, maybe we're box score watching a little bit because 7 stocks is like effing insane.
You can't count on that, but no, it's the 30 something minutes that you can count on, which to me is meaningful.
He ate Georgia's lunch in that matchup the last time they played, right? Like there's no reason that he couldn't do it again.
Right.
Yeah. Collins, I don't know. I haven't taken a ton of Bruce Brown. I said Reggie Jackson because like he could follow his way into a whole bunch of minutes tonight. Herb Jones is actually my favorite of the Pels of that back range. But that might be changing now with the potential looming, what we haven't talked about. CJ McCollum changed from an out to a Q right now in the 6th round.
But apparently this is a mistake. Apparently, this is like strictly because he's questionable for Wednesday.
Okay, could return Wednesday. So Shams changed the status. Okay, cool. There you go.
Yeah, that was a mistake on the people's part. So don't draft CJ McCollum, in my opinion.
Okay, sounds good. Yep, good little nugget to add there. Any other last name that you want to shout or give credence to at the back end here?
Let me check my exposures. I mean, I said Sharp. Bruce Brown. I was
okay.
I like Bruce Brown. He plays a ton of minutes. Like almost no ceiling whatsoever. But you know, maybe he finds his way to 35 to 40. Thank you, Crutches, for that. But I'm into like any Pacers against the Blazers. Really, you can go ahead and throw them on there.
Yeah, just
Yeah, just because of how fast they play and how bad the Blazers are.
Johnny Footballs, aka Johnny Basketballs, now is suggesting, yeah, man, when Hawkins came out, they said he was like the best shooter in the draft, like this year. Like they were like that. He's the best spot up shooter.
He's definitely the most
period.
shooter.
Dude, man, he launches it, dude. He hasn't even had a good shooting game yet. That was the thesis when he was in the starting lineup, and I played him like aped in on him as a swap, and I had like 90% of him it was something absurd. It was not 90, but it was like 82% of him on that one slate. It was like,
that's always fun.
Man, he's just gonna shoot it 20 times. Like, I don't care if it goes in or not. And guess what happened? It didn't go in. As we alluded to, I think this is Embiid for both of us right now.
Yeah.
It is scary. It's scary not taking Joker just because we know the ceiling associated with him, especially with Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon out. But this is just a pure hedge on the fact that there's a genuine chance he could not play tonight. And I was listening a little bit of the injury report show with Dink there and Gallagher, and Dink suggesting he thought it was about a 60% chance that Joker didn't play tonight. So his words, not mine. I kind of agree with him more than I disagree with him.
I think just because if there was no Sixers on this slate and we were doing like Joker or like Hallie AD,
right?
Maybe then I wouldn't hedge.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, but with Embiid being like, hey, like you can do Embiid and like that's the way you put a condom on the Joker play.
Mm-hmm.
Not too bad, not too shabby to take second in MVP votes.
Oh, here, Kyle, a little more context. Dink and Gallagher were split on the opinion for what it's worth.
Okay, shout out Gallagher.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Nuggets would be like plus 13 with no Joker, AG and Murray. Yeah, that's a good shout. I mean, that's what you were talking about earlier, there, Nez, where the spread is telling us that that they think Joker's playing.
Yeah, Joker. Yeah. Joker's an interesting one. This is tough. If it wasn't for like all the noise about this and like Andy like foretelling that he's gonna sit, like last night he was like saying like Spidey's like anytime Andy says something it just looks so true and good. I'm like, God damn it, man. Like,
you know what looks real and true is his ROI right now from the first month of basketball contest on this site. I retweeted it if you guys didn't see the other day, but Andy has been killing it in the hoop streets. Nez, one thing we didn't talk about at the front end of this draft board and stuff, I can never get the Clippers right ever. I don't know if it's going to be a George night, if it's going to be whatever. Wow, Maxey falling to 11 there. That's a wow. Whew, I love that. Right now, I've been skipping Kawhi here, and I've been going a little game environment play of Brogdon and Miles Turner. Do you have a better suggestion for me?
Brogdon, for sure. Yeah. After that, I see, man, I do like Kawhi, but I don't know that he gets you 40. Like, I like Ayton.
Okay, let's do it. I haven't done a ton of Ayton tonight. I mean, you don't care that they're teammates and you're pairing teammates in the second and third round?
The reason, no, I don't. I think that they are not quite as deep as like the Pacers. The Pacers are really deep. Like, they don't have to play Miles Turner. Like I think Ayton is almost a lock to play more minutes than Miles Turner, and that the pace they play, I just trust Ayton more. I know that's kind of a hot take, but I like Ayton more today than Turner. That's kind of that's where I come out. I don't know that projections agree with me.
Well, if you run the Sims on redacted and you just use stochastic projections, Ayton is in everything.
Yeah, I'm just looking like raw points. They have Turner over Ayton by like, a couple points.
Yeah.
No big deal there. Mm-hmm. So that's just personal preference.
Cool. Yeah,
I haven't seen these streets a lot. Sorry.
Yeah, normally a puck guy, right?
And yeah. He's really out here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they you're right. They can do a ton of stuff at like the center / power forward position there where like, Miles Turner isn't like a true center. They don't play They don't play positionally. They just run and gun
No,
anyway. So it doesn't matter.
He's just back there just to grab a board.
Yeah, but like something with like
Side
Jalen
out.
Smith, Isaiah Jackson, and Turner, they can just kind of,
I got a trade in my dynasty league that just went through. Not mine, but let's see. This is
we can grade the trade.
Yeah, if it's worth reading out loud.
Miles Turner falls to 18 there. I guess the projections aren't loving it. Wow, James Harden to 20. There's a rare team that you see Kawhi in the third, Harden in the fourth there.
Damn.
Yeah, haven't seen a ton of that. Interesting to see though, like Harden fell, and Cowboys obviously a good player as well, and he'd rather have Turner and Duren.
I would also rather have Duren than Harden. I think you would agree with that.
Yep. I haven't taken any.
Harden's right after for me, but yeah.
Yeah. I think we're gonna have two pretty easy clicks. IMO right here if Easy doesn't take one of them.
I will say I think Gafford is not a little mispriced. I think he is mispriced, but I also like Gafford too.
Yeah.
Man,
it's kind of fun.
Wow,
Buddy Hield. This is a crazy draft room. Like this for me, like is just like no brainer. Clarkson and Poole, just like absolute no brainer.
Yeah, I think the only thing I could, Oscar Thompson's gone. Yeah, this is Clarkson and Poole.
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Like, I like Clarkson in general. I liked him at his price. I liked him as leverage. And then now you layer on that the big ass shotgun is out tonight. Like, just give me Clarkson Knight from the fifth round.
Yeah, this feels like an excellent spot to ape in on Jordan Clarkson. We've got the box scores looking poor. This is a pretty good, like the Pelicans are like average, they're not like an awesome spot for offenses, but this total is pretty decent. Jordan Clarkson was balling before the injury in those last two duds, like balling out of control.
We see Jaden Ivey getting pushed up out of the sixth round there into the fifth. I think that's
by a no badge.
I think it's like more correct in my opinion, but he's doing some funky stuff here where, Russell Westbrook at 21. I don't know what he's anticipating with the Westbrook thing there.
Ivy ranks 30 as far as projections go.
Okay.
One of the bigger gaps from ADP to projection.
Who else are some of your biggest gaps in projection versus ADP?
Melton ranks 26th right now. John Collins.
T-Box was big time on Melton.
I love Melton too, but Melton's floor is so scary.
Yeah,
Melton
for sure.
17-point floor.
Yeah. The other one you alluded to, the John Collins one there, I saw right before we hopped on stream that Crutches was on the Collins stuff really early and was taking him at like 25 and stuff like that. We alluded to it when we were ripping through the rankings there that he's mispriced. So I do like that one too.
I wish I had a little bit more of him early. Right now, as far as how much I have, I need to see. But the reason I don't have as much right now, which is like this is just like a leak, like I was really heavy on him whenever they ruled out Markkanen and Clarkson on Saturday, and he was like, I thought I had that slate in the fucking bag, man. I thought I was gonna crush, and I got crushed. And part of it is because John Collins only put up. He didn't even put up 20 fantasy points.
Yeah, that night
I thought for sure he was going to get a ton of run.
Yeah, I was in lockstep with you there too. I mean, they've been doing some really weird stuff with the rotation. That starting lineup was nobody anticipated that starting lineup that we saw. We see Walker Kessler go at 35 there. I think that's a really nice pick. I like to just take John Collins here. Wow. There is something that is a nice thing that Crutches was alluding to. Pairing 2 sixth rounders as leverage that you think project just like slightly better in the fifth and the sixth round instead of taking in line with ADP a fifth and a sixth round pick introduces a little bit of leverage there. So, I mean, the Collins plus Clarkson plus Poole. I mean, we just went ahead and we were in line with ADP for 3 picks, and then we just flipped it on its head and took 3 guys over 28 with the last 3 rather. So hopefully get some unique combos that way. Nez, Tyus Jones fully a contingency plan on Jordan Poole for you?
Yeah, I'm not really into the Tyus Jones stuff. I've gotten him in the 6 a few times, but I'm mostly just kind of like, it kind of feels bad, but I am doing a lot of just like randomizing and getting as many different combos as I can in the 6th, just because I want, like, I don't really have any strong leans personally, but other than like if I'm here, like John Collins is one, Reggie Jackson is one, and Herb Jones, I will do Herb Jones. I
like Herb Jones.
One of the OG Herb Jones choosers. The way that
stocks
that dude
and threes, man. Stocks and threes.
How do
you? There's no way you can fill up this scoring system more than stocks and threes.
That's it, man. Yeah. I gotta run. But are you gonna keep going? Or are you gonna shut this thing?
You know what? I'm gonna rip one last draft here.
Let's go.
How about that?
Let's go.
Let's see.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I lied. I'm not. You know why?
Your boy. Oh, you're gonna do pick him, or you got your boy to take care of?
No, I gotta take care of the boy here because Mr. Good Boy has been at the vet, and he's got an ear infection, and he hasn't had his normal out and around about. Blah blah blah. Sorry to pump fake everyone. We'll get something else going, but we played the hits there. We played the hits. Not sure what's on deck for tomorrow, but if you are not liked, not subscribed to this channel going forward, despite these beautiful overlays suggesting Underdog Daily in tandem with BadgeBros, it is residing here on this channel going forward. Lots of fun things coming in the future. Obviously, we got the definitive preview show for the Battle Royale slate, which is already out. That'll be here on Wednesday, most likely 2 p.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Eastern. Question mark?
Something like that.
Yeah, one of those 2 time slots there. And then we will have Off and On the Clock Friday here. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, TBD here, but most likely something hoops related tomorrow, and maybe something that's Primetime Palooza and hoops related on the Thursday there. But there will be something here tomorrow, whether it'll be one of us, 2 of us, whatever, there will be something hoops related, correct?
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a fun week, man. I'm feeling energized after Thanksgiving, so yeah, expect loads of content.
Love it, man. All right, good luck to everybody playing on the platform with people this evening. If you are not playing on that, use promo code MLB at sign up. 100% match deposit up to 100 USD. But you all already know that because you are Underdog. Oh man. All right, let's head out of here. Any parting words, my friend?
Ooh, parting words. Keontae George night.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It's always Keontae George night, but tonight is definitively Keontae George night. I need to get my exposures up.
I mean, Tyson Daniels might steal the ball from him 6 times, but who knows? he could fill it up in the
Not George. George got that ball on a string, man. He doesn't turn it over.
All right. I like it. I respect it. I don't have a hot shout like that. Who did I say? Nah, I'm not even going to do it. I just love that Washington and Pistons game. So there you go.
Bless your heart.
Don't play that game. All right. On behalf of Nez, myself, we are the Badge Bros, and this is everybody's favorite time of the show. Hit that like, subscribe, follow, notification bell, all that good stuff. Help us keep coming back. Love y'all. Peace.